Morning. Today we are going to discuss about the input output ports of the 8051 microcontroller. So in this microcontroller, it's have the four input output ports. Okay, that is the P0, P1, P2, P3. Okay, the four input output ports are we can majorly used that we are going to discuss. So normally it's have the microcontroller. We all know it's have the 40 pin internal 40 pins. It's have the circuits. So in that we are using for the P0, P1, P2 and P3, that for the input output ports. We will discuss this all the things. When you are giving the configurations, either logic state 0 and as well as 1, based on that we can use it for either input or output ports. If you are giving that 0, that was the output port. If you are the logic state is 1, that was the input ports. Okay, so in that we are going to discuss the pin configuration, the input configuration, the output configuration. So here, if you are the P0 is the we can use it for either input or output ports. So while you are using the port P0, so it may used for the lower address cases, like when you are connected with the external memory. So we can use it for either input or output ports. Suppose we need to follow the output registers. That means if you want to use the P0 port is the output port, you need to give 5 voltage direct supply to the particular port, because the options of pull up register. Okay, so similarly the next port, that was the P1, that is the port 1. That port 1 we can use it for the either input or output port based on the user requirement. The user requirement in the sense nothing like you can set the values for logic either 0 or 1. If you are making the 0, that was the output. If you are given the logic value, that was the 1, that was the input. This logic value, how it is operate based on this pulse. Okay, if the value is 1, so here the pulse it may there. If the absence of the value, that is the 0, there is the no pulse. Okay, that is the likewise we can pass the signal to use the ports. Okay, then the port 2, the port 2 is the similar to the port 1, but when you are connecting the external memory to the port 2, so it can used for the either input or output port in the higher address buses, that is the A8 to A15, right? That is the apart from that, if you are not connected the external memory, it can be used like either input or output port as like port 1. Okay, then the port 3 similar to the other ports, it can be used for the either input port or output port based on the user requirement. And if you want to use either higher address bus or lower address bus, either the port 3 as like port 0, port 1, port 2, either all the ports are we can use it for the either input or output ports. Likewise the port 3 also similar to the port 1 and port 2. Okay, so because port 0 it doesn't have the pull up register, that is why we are giving the 5 voltage external supply direct to the pin. But here that's not needed. So based on like P1 and P2, it's not have any external memory. If you want to, you can add it and you can use the same. Similarly, we can use the port 3 also. Okay, that all ports we can use it for either input and output ports. If you want to extend the memory, you can add the external memory based on the user requirement. Okay, thank you.